Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Black and White United Show. I'm your host, Andreas. Thank you so much for tuning in with me this morning. In today's episode, something a little bit different. We're going to look ahead to the next month of football, leading up into our bye after the King's birthday game in June. Roll the intro.
0, 1. Let's get started.
Today's episode is brought to you by Hopper Bros Barbecue for all your tips, tricks, and everything barbecue. Make sure you give them a follow on Instagram. Okay, so we're not going to do a full preview into the Adelaide game that's happening on Saturday. That'll be a separate video which will come up later on this week, I should say. Today's video is going to be mainly about just quickly assessing the next 4 games, obviously leading into this bye halfway through the season, which I think is going to come at a fantastic time for us with the block of games that we've got coming up. So obviously this Saturday at the MCG at 1:20 p.m. we have the Adelaide Crows. Now, the only thing I will say about this game, apart from doing my preview later, is this: if we're able to get over Adelaide on the weekend, and this is going to be a very, very interesting game, considering the players that potentially we could have missing, the ones that are suffering a little bit of injuries after the fantastic win against Fremantle. If we are able to get up on this game, we will be clear 2 wins plus probably the second best percentage in the competition, locked into the top 4. So the great thing about that is that that's all on us. It doesn't matter about other results and other teams sneaking up and overtaking us. We're locked in. And I think that's going to be something that we should be very happy about leading up into towards, obviously, the halfway point of the season. After that, on Saturday, the 24th of May, we head over to Marvel Stadium, our first Marvel game of the year, I'm pretty sure, and we take on North Melbourne. Now, North Melbourne last night, from when I'm filming this video, played really well against Brisbane. They ended up getting the draw, spewing, because if they had have won, obviously we would have been top of the ladder at this point, but it doesn't matter. We're still second with a healthy percentage, which is fantastic. North Melbourne are playing look, they're not setting the world alight, but when North Melbourne are on, they're actually quite a difficult team to match up against. And we saw that last year with what happened with that miracle game at Marvel, where we came back from, 54 points down or something like that. So that was the game Bobby Hill took Mark of the Year. So we know that North Melbourne isn't going to be a walk in the park, regardless if they're 17th on the ladder or not. They're actually playing some decent footy. They've got some fantastic kids. Wardlaw's a freak. Sheasel, freak. So, they've got a lot of players to look out for. And the additions of, with the additions of Darling, obviously, Caleb Daniel, and they had another one too. Luke Parker from Sydney. They're really slotting into their team well, like we've got our new recruits, Houston, Perryman, and Membry setting into our team quite well. They're doing sort of the same thing. Obviously, they're going to take a bit longer to develop, but it's not going to be a walk in the park. The week after, Friday the 30th of May, we have Hawthorne. It's our home game at the G. Hawthorne are our bogey side. I reckon I can tell you from when I was born in 89 to now, I reckon I can count how many times we've beaten Hawthorne on 2 hands. They are our bogey team. They are a team that, for some strange reason, beat us the years that we win the flag. In 1990, they smashed us at Waverley by, I think it was something like almost 100 points before the final started. Then in 2010, in Josh Fraser's 200th game, the last round of the season, they beat us. Dane Beams missed a really easy chance to kick a goal after, right before the siren. That was actually the last game Josh Fraser played for Collingwood. And then obviously in 2023, we were, it was the game when Nick Dacos smashed his knee. It was a wet day at the G. It was just one of those days where you love to forget as a Collingwood supporter. But for some reason, every year we play them and they beat us like that, we seem to win the flag. So, it's an interesting one. I just don't know how we're gonna go up against them. We have the chance to absolutely smash them. I think our best football is quite good enough to beat Hawthorne. But on the flip side, if we're slightly off, I can see them running on top of us. So that's a danger game for me. And then obviously the week after, well, it's well over a week after. We've got a fair break. We've got about an 11-day break, I'm pretty sure. We take on Melbourne, King's birthday, the Big Freeze 11 at the G. I don't think this game's going to trouble us too much. Not to go in there too cocky or anything, but I think we are a lot better than Melbourne. Currently sitting at 15th on the ladder. Look, if we're going to take this season seriously and we're going to progress, there's teams like Melbourne. Both times that we play them this year, we really have to just run over the top and just go for the kill pretty much straight away. We've had a pretty good record against them. The last time we lost against them again was in 2023. We lost by 4 points. I think that was the last Queen's birthday game. No, that was the first King's birthday game. Sorry. So hopefully we can get over the top of them then. But that's our next 4 games. So Adelaide, North Melbourne, Hawthorne, and Melbourne, leading up into the bye halfway through the season. And then we've got St Kilda back at Marvel after that, which we won't worry about that for now. So those 4 games, that 4 block there is very important to us. If we are able to get 3 out of the 4, we will be 2 games plus percentage locked into the top 4, which is fantastic, leading up into halfway through the season, which, judging by our fixture going on after this block of games, it's actually pretty good with, St Kilda and West Coast and stuff like that to follow. So we have an opportunity now where we've played the first 7, well, we've played pretty much all the finalists from last year, right? And we've come up with only dropping 2 games. Now, you had to said that to me at the start of the year, leading up into, round 9, round 10, we're sitting second and we've only dropped 2. I'd be like, are you serious? Like, yeah, that's pretty good. I thought we'd be okay, but I didn't think we'd be sitting that good at that time. We'd probably come up more towards this block of games coming up now. But the fact that we're able to say that we've only dropped 2 games, and really, my personal opinion, it only should be 1. But, that GWS game, you forget about it. But the Geelong game, look, I will go back on it for a second. I feel like the Geelong game, for a loss, it was a little bit deflating. But I don't think I've ever walked away from a loss from a football game, especially being there, and been so disappointed and disheartened. And you're a bit flat. But I still had the sense of, hey, don't worry about it. It's okay. Like, we played all right. We had our moments. We should have put them away. The game was still on our terms towards the end. It doesn't matter. I felt like that in 2022, where I think it was round 3, we lost to Geelong at the G, but we had like that amazing third quarter of football, and then obviously Geelong hit back at the end. You were still like hopeful. Like, hang on a second, there's something there. And I still had that feeling against Geelong, regardless of umpiring decisions or whatever. But to say that we're sitting second on the ladder, with a percentage of 131 at 28 points is something that, we should be very, very happy about. So just to run over the top 8 right now in the competition, obviously first is Brisbane, second Collingwood, third Hawthorne, fourth is Gold Coast, but they have played 1 less game. They do have the healthiest percentage at the moment of 135.7, knowing that they've also played against West Coast as well, and they got a big win over them at the start of the season. Adelaide in 5th. That's why this week's game against Adelaide is so important, because if we do win, obviously it's against Adelaide and it cuts us into the top 4 and locks us in with 2 games plus healthy percentage from that 5th spot. 6 is the Western Bulldogs. I think the Bulldogs are going to be a very late bloomer this season, and they're going to really try and crack into the top 4 towards the end. Geelong at 7th and GWS at 8th. They both played last night. Obviously, GWS getting the win in a really heated contest. Geelong, bit of karma, cop that, sitting at 7th. So the top 8 is pretty much set, and obviously Essendon and Carlton at 9th and 10th. They can stay there. That's fine. Okay, so that's my preview to obviously the 4 block of games that we've got coming up, just like a general sort of like overall thoughts about it. I would say, again, out of these next 4 games, this month of football leading up into the bye, if we can win 3 out of the 4, I'm happy, obviously, to have a loss here and there because it's probably healthy for the team, keep us grounded a bit. Obviously, you want to win as many games as possible, but being in the fortunate position that we are, if we are to drop a couple of games here and there, but we're locked into the top 4, there's not much more that you can ask for, and we can try and obviously get these kids in at times. I don't think there's going to be a massive squeeze for spots. I'm not 100% sure if we're going to see the kids again this week, if we're going to see Hayes or if we're going to see West this week. I'm a little bit skeptical. I think it's more or less if there's an opportunity, then they'll get it. If not, they're going to have to buy their time because, if our team is 100% fully fit, which it's not at the moment, but if it gets that way, you've got to play the most experienced, not the oldest, the most experienced and the best team for that game. So 3 out of the next 4, I think, is an absolute pass. If we go 4 from 4, we are in a seriously, scarily good position. I don't even know if that makes sense. But yeah, I just wanted to post a video today and talk about the next 4 games, how important they are, especially leading up into this game against Adelaide at the G, Saturday at 1:20 p.m. Also, we are going live tomorrow night. I have changed the whole platform for our lives on Tuesday nights. It's going to be called the Fan Forum. There will be some days where we do it on Tuesdays where we do fan cams and we get people on board. Other times it'll just be interaction with obviously people who are watching at the time. But make sure you jump on tomorrow night, 8:30 on YouTube live. It's going to be crazy. The preview for the Adelaide game will come up around Wednesday, Thursday this week, leading into Saturday, and then obviously the review after that. We are 2 subscribers away from 900. I was hoping to get it this morning. It doesn't matter. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. Make sure you visit our sponsors. Thank you for tuning in. Drop a comment. Tell me what you think. And call it as you see it. And as always, go the Pies.